Hey there, if you're a parent who's just starting to navigate the world of autism spectrum disorder, you're in the right place. We're going to break down the first steps of this journey to help you move forward with a little more clarity and a lot more confidence. This whole thing often starts with just a feeling, doesn't it? An intuition you just can't shake. And maybe the most important thing you can do right now is to trust that feeling. Trusting your gut is the very first step in being the advocate your child needs. So, once you've acknowledged that feeling, the big question is, what now? And I get it, it can feel so overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. We're here to lay out a clear path forward to help turn that uncertainty into real understanding. This is it. This is the moment you start to become an informed, empowered parent, ready to understand your child in a new and really profound way. Okay, first up, we're going to look at some of the common early signs. But just as importantly, we need to separate fact from fiction. So we're going to debunk some of those persistent and frankly harmful myths that are still out there. Now, it's so important to remember, these are just flags, okay? They aren't a diagnosis. You might notice things like challenges with eye contact or that your child doesn't really respond to their name. Maybe you see repetitive behaviors like rocking or hand flapping, which is often called stimming and can be a way to self-soothe. Or maybe they have this incredibly intense passion for one specific topic. These are all just signs that it's probably time to have a chat with a pediatrician. All right, let's just tackle the biggest myth head on, the idea that vaccines cause autism. This whole thing started from a single, fraudulent study back in 1998 that has been completely discredited and retracted. Since then, huge studies involving millions of children have found, again and again, absolutely no link. The science is crystal clear on this. Vaccines do not cause autism, period. Here's another incredibly harmful myth, that autism is caused by bad parenting. Let me be perfectly clear about this. It is 100% false. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition. It has strong genetic roots. It has absolutely nothing to do with how you raise your child. You did not cause this. And finally, there's this huge misconception that autistic people lack empathy. Oh man, this could not be further from the truth. Often, they can feel empathy so deeply, but the way they process it and show it might be different. It might not look the way a neurotypical person expects, but believe me, the feeling is absolutely there. So with those myths out of the way, let's talk about the actual diagnosis process. I want you to try to think of it not as some scary test, but as a really important step toward understanding your child and unlocking the right kind of support for them. The whole thing usually happens in about 3 stages. It often kicks off with an initial screening, maybe a questionnaire like the MCHAT that your pediatrician gives you during a regular checkup. If that raises some flags, you'll move on to a really comprehensive evaluation with a whole team of specialists. They'll use observation and special tools, like the ADOS-2, which is kind of the gold standard for assessment. And from there, they'll give you their findings, a formal diagnosis if it's appropriate, and most importantly, a plan to help your child thrive. And this is where you become so incredibly important in this process. Think about it. Clinicians only see a tiny snapshot of your child's life. But you see them every single day, at home, at the park, in their element. Your stories, your observations, your notes on what makes them tick, all of that is priceless. You are your child's most important advocate. Because a diagnosis, it's not a label. It's really a doorway to understanding the unique, incredible person your child is beyond anything else. And a huge part of that is embracing this idea of neurodiversity. It's a powerful concept that basically reframes autism not as a problem or a deficit, but as a natural and valuable part of human variation. It's all about shifting our perspective from a need to cure to a desire to celebrate. And that shift in thinking, well, it leads us right here. Instead of focusing only on the challenges, we can now start to really identify and nurture your child's unique strengths. And wow, those strengths are often remarkable. We're talking about things like incredible attention to detail, a really strong sense of logic, and an honest, direct way of seeing the world. And that ability to develop a deep, passionate expertise in their special interests, that can lead to some truly amazing innovation and creativity. So how do we support both the strengths and the challenges? We do it by building a personalized toolkit. And the key word there is personalized, because there is absolutely no one-size-fits-all approach here. It's all about finding what works for your child. A great support plan is holistic. It looks at the whole picture. So don't think of these as separate options, but more like interconnected pieces of a puzzle. Things like behavioral therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. And this is a big one, training and support for you, the parent. So let's just quickly break down 3 of the therapies you'll probably hear about. ABA, or Applied Behavior Analysis, focuses on teaching new skills using positive reinforcement. Speech therapy helps improve all kinds of communication, not just talking. And occupational therapy is fantastic for developing daily living skills and figuring out strategies to manage sensory needs. You can see how they can all work together to build a really powerful toolkit.
So, with a plan taking shape, your role as your child's advocate and guide becomes more important than ever before.
And please, never, ever underestimate the power you have. This quote says it all, really. It's your dedication, your patience, and your advocacy that will unlock the doors to all the services and opportunities your child needs to flourish. Your role is truly instrumental. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. This journey isn't just about one child. It's about all of us. It's about shifting our own perspectives to ask, how can we build a world that doesn't just accommodate, but truly celebrates every single unique and wonderful mind?